Bahama project back in April of this year. According to the minister, the program was initially designed to be a 12-week work project with a goal to transform lives and communities on the island and not just function as a cleanup project. And since its launch, it became so successful that the minister extended it for another 12 weeks in July in an attempt to keep Grand Bahamians employed for as long as possible.
People have not worked since Dorian. This has given those that were even considered unhireable or undesirable to have these types of opportunities. You have people who couldn't work because they had a criminal record because of a minor offense.
The Grand Bahama minister credits the program for limiting crime and violence on the island, noting that many persons have resorted to committing crimes because they were unemployed and had reached a point of desperation to provide for their families.
Our people do not want to be on the social service line. They actually want to be able to have opportunities where they can provide for themselves. And that's what Beautiful Grand Bahama is doing. And what it's also doing, Beautiful Grand Bahama is about projects in communities. We are creating an environment where our people can thrive.
And while the program was implemented to create touristic attractions and restore heritage sites, the main goal, she says, is to create ways for Grand Bahamians to earn a salary and have a means to provide for themselves and their families, while empowering people and enhancing communities along the way.
We are trying to address certain things like expungement of records that allows people to now be able to enter the workforce legally. We're also looking at some of these cases and where, people have been waiting forever to get their immigration status sorted out, and, you hear of all sorts of things, waiting for years and years and years and resubmitting files and all that. So these are some of the things that we're addressing, because think of this. If we fix that issue, we don't just fix, it isn't just about a job. We have actually transformed that family's life.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, a recent report revealing that as of June, the Bahamas has seen an inflation of 6.2% year over year. And as prices globally continue to soar to record-setting levels, two charitable organizations on Grand Bahama are appealing to the public for financial assistance in order to facilitate the upkeep of their food distribution programs. Our Raven Davis has more.
Local charities are feeling the pinch of inflation as they continue striving to provide relief to communities. Representatives at the Salvation Army and the Evangeline Jervis Distribution Center holding out hope that high prices would taper off soon. Board member at the Evangeline Center, Carlita Carolina, disclosing that some 1,500 people are registered on the organization's feeding program, with an average of 80 bags distributed weekly. But the organization, which also provides free clothing, has seen an increase in clients requiring help.
We have a system for distributing the food. And we have a card you have to register. First started, people would get every 2 weeks, then it went to a month, and now we're almost like 2 months because we only schedule those amount, and then the next name go right in, and the next, so yeah, sometimes now the person that's receiving the items may not get it every month. That time is extended. Major Sumter expressing similar circumstances at the Salvation Army, noting that immediately after Dorian, they've seen an increase too.
Within a 3-month cycle, the individuals that are coming to us are new households that have never been we've never seen before, are now feeling somewhat of a pinch in their budget. They're not able to make ends meet. And so they're turning to us and turning to other agencies.
Proceeds from the thrift store are used to fund the Salvation Army's pantry program, geared at assisting the homeless. But sales have unfortunately dwindled, according to Sumter.
They may come to the store, but they don't have the income to actually shop, to bring us to that level where the income is there to turn around and purchase that food. And individuals are not able to shop, then that puts a little bit of a crunch on us to find monies elsewhere.
And one of the things we have to do, we have to watch the sales. So if Sawyer has the sales for the noodles or the cream or the corn, we rush there. And if Solomon has a sale, they had a sale on tuna the other day, so we went over there and got the tuna.
Determined to continue their philanthropic efforts, representatives are making an appeal to the public.
We are always in need, though it may not look as though we are. Financial gift is always welcome.
We're grateful for the opportunity, but we need to stay here. And we cannot stay here if we do not get the help from the community.
For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, a Grand Bahama man is declaring his innocence tonight after he says a wanted bulletin issued by police last week charged that he was wanted for stealing by reason of service. Our Simone Davis sat down with the man who claims he was wrongfully accused and one of the persons who filed the complaint against him. She has the details in this exclusive for what this family is claiming is a case of mistaken identity.
Thursday on September 15th, police officials issued a wanted bulletin for 37-year-old Dion Stanton Smith of 194 Dolphin Street for stealing by reason of service. Smith, who is a husband and father of 3, recounts the night that he found out he was a wanted suspect on social media.
A good friend of mine messaged me. He actually called me. He called me, you know, saying, "Hey, you okay? Like everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, what you mean? What's going on?" He said, "But your face all over the place, but like you wanted."
Describing the experience as confusing, humiliating, and frustrating, Smith alleges that he never received a call from police, and he was even more blindsided by the reason he was wanted.
No one contacted me. Like, I just was oblivious because when I read by reason of service, I said, I don't even have a service.
Now, just one day after the wanted bulletin was posted, Smith's wife, Nikita, says she and her husband went to the police station to get answers, but that quickly turned into a nightmare. She also recounts an encounter with officers who allegedly conducted a search on her home, which she says left her traumatized.
We went there with the impression of they were going to question him, not that they were going to arrest him. They came in and they did a search to my house. One of the officers, he pulled a gun out on me. Because I said I was going to reach out to my lawyer.
Once in custody, Smith says he was informed of the claims brought against him.
They said 3 persons came in and identified me as someone that they gave monies to bring in a car for them.
One of the 3 complainants is backing Smith, alleging that she informed an officer who came to her residence and showed her a photo of Smith that he was not the person who had committed the crime.
The person I saw was roughly between 5'7", 5'8". They showed me a picture, and I can unequivocally say that I told them that that's not the person that I saw. So for me to be able to sleep at night or to know that someone is in jail because of me, that I know didn't do what they're being accused of, that I can't do that.
Now here's where this story gets even more interesting. A second complainant also declared that Smith does not fit the description of the man he paid to rent a car. However, Smith admits that payment was arranged for the third complainant in a desperate attempt to avoid the matter escalating to court. Nikita says though she has faith in the law, the way her husband was handled during this ordeal is disappointing.
My husband didn't have to be railroaded like this. You could have done your investigation, I understand. He carried the name of the person you were looking for, yes. But for you to treat a person as if he's guilty until proven innocent, that shouldn't be the law. The law is innocent until proven guilty.
Smith has hired attorney Paco Deal to represent him in this case as he intends to take legal action. This is a developing story that we will continue to follow. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Now, in regards to that report, our Simone Davis also met with police officials privately this afternoon who stated that at the time they were satisfied with their investigations, but they wish not to provide any further comment on this matter. Well, it can be described as a fiasco her day in court. She was arraigned before Deputy Chief Magistrate Debbie Ferguson in the Freeport Magistrates Court No. 1. There, she pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of credit by false pretenses. Lockhart was granted bail in the sum of $7,000 with 3 sureties. The Grand Bahama resident must report to the Northeastern Police Station every Monday and Friday before 6 p.m. and is scheduled to return to court on Wednesday, February 8th of 2023. Lockhart is accused of the sale of boat tickets for the Bularia fast ferry service between Saturday, March 19th and Wednesday, August 10th of this year. The tickets amounted to $42,013. She was not employed with the company. Meantime, here at home, Abaco has had its share of water challenges for some time now. Following Hurricane Dorian, Abaco has experienced a significant water challenge that members of Parliament John Pinder and Kirk Cornish contends was a major concern of Abaconians. Tonight, we have a response from the area manager at the Water and Sewerage Corporation, Tony Scriven, who shares how the company has been working to address this issue. As Jaquant reports.
It remains a cause for concern for many residents throughout Abaco. Water challenges following Hurricane Dorian. The members of Parliament for the island say it was an even greater concern during the global coronavirus pandemic when it was most needed. But in the past few months, the Water and Sewerage Corporation has been working feverishly to provide the vital necessity. Central and South MP John Pinder shares that the water supply has been interrupted at night for both residential and business establishments as a preservation method for the following day.
Places like Moores Island been going on for years. Places like Central Abaco has been going on for weeks and weeks. It's even Sandy Point was affected. That wasn't hit directly with the storm, but water issues in Abaco have been tremendous. I commend the chairman for pushing forward on getting a lot of those issues, bringing a lot of those issues to light, and the people on the ground are definitely trying their hardest.
Meanwhile, North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish says he and the Water and Sewerage Chairman Sylvanus Petty has taken a tour through Abaco to address the island's water challenges.
We're still having difficulties with it. The system, we find that the pumps are tripping, and there has to be some more technical work done to it. And for me, I would take a chance and go on record to say, I believe management need to take it a little more serious. Abaco deserve to have water every time they turn on the tap.
Area manager at Water and Sewerage Abaco, Tony Scriven, explaining the production of the corporation. He says that as a result of Dorian, the groundwater wells were flooded. After weeks of drying out, work commenced immediately. And now, 3 years later, tremendous strides have been made by the corporation.
With our new board of directors and our chairman, Mr. Sylvanus Petty, he's pushed the efforts for us to finish our new pumping station, which we've been testing for the last 2 months now. So there has been some challenges in the testing phase because we are using solar panels to run our well field now as opposed to utility power. So there were some hiccups in the system that we're working out now. So as of now, there should be no water service being discontinued at any time of the night. We make around 1.5 million gallons of water per day, and we distribute at least 1.3 million gallons of water per day in the central area. So whenever we have a loss in production, that would be an issue where we would have to cut back late at night. And sometimes communicating that clearly could be done better on our behalf.
The Water and Sewerage Corporation currently has 2 ongoing projects, one of which is the Treasure Key Rehabilitation Program, including a private-public partnership, and the Central Pines Mains Rehabilitation following the leakage issue. Scriven also noting that replacing the Keys water tanks is also on the agenda for the corporation. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Thanks, Aja. When we come back, hear how the Blue Rose Foundation is observing Leukemia Awareness Month. That story, a whole lot more, including sports, when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
Come on down now. Come on down now.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them.
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
With over 30 years of service with integrity, services in Abaco, New Providence, and Grand Bahama, providing modern and state-of-the-art equipment, specializing in the maintenance and operation of waste treatment plants, waste oil movement, sludge extraction, tank cleaning, elite portable toilets, and hand wash stations. We are efficient, reliable, and cutting edge. We are B&B Galaxy.
Don't miss the buy two, get one free sale going on now at Pandora, Port Lacaya.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one news team covering the North. Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
And welcome back. The Grand Bahama Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated hosting a back-to-school giveaway and health fair, awarding the community of downtown an opportunity to shop free while providing their health care. The ladies of the sorority say that they are looking to provide the benevolence packages to 200 students on the island, and expresses that the purpose of the sorority is to make its presence felt throughout the community.
We're happy today to be able to partner with our sorors from Orlando to give back. We're doing dental screenings, we're giving back backpacks, we're able to give back some uniform vouchers. Well, a part of Delta's mission and purpose is solely to give back or to provide assistance to our local community, and so that is the reason why we're here.
It's a part of our trust. In Delta Sigma Theta, we have a trust, and it's important for Delta Sigma to be seen in our communities, and we just want to be out there and let the island of Grand Bahama know that we're here to service them.
Tracy Smith-Kim speaking to the importance of the colored community becoming more aware of underlying health issues.
Asian brown community, high blood pressure, hypertension is huge. And so this is an opportunity that people may not know that they have high blood pressure. And just coming and doing the screenings can make them aware. We give them their results. We provide that for them, direct them to the doctor if their blood pressures are a little elevated, a little high. And a lot of people do not know. So this is very critical for us to know, and also with our blood sugar, because we as a community, we don't even know that it's going on, and they're silent killers.
Well, the month of September is all about the color orange. Officials at the Blue Rose Foundation are hosting a fun-filled event on Grand Bahama with the dual purpose of spreading kindness to individuals and families affected by leukemia, along with underscoring the importance of early detection. Our Raven Davis has the details.
It is described as the most common cancer in children. Leukemia occurs when the bone marrow makes abnormal white blood cells that don't mature. Co-founder of the Blue Rose Foundation, Philip Bowe, shares personal experience with the disease and notes the importance of knowing the signs in observance of Leukemia Awareness Month.
It can happen at any time, but typically it's with children and adults over the age of 55. And when our mom was diagnosed with leukemia, she was only given 6 months to live, but she made it for 15 years. And we believe, along with her faith, we believe that it was due to the strong support base she had. Last 2 years of our mom's life, you know, that was a journey for us, a difficult time for us. And being an adult, it was difficult on her. So we only can imagine what it is for children.
But out of tragedy, sometimes good comes. Following the 2019 death of Bo's mother, the foundation was birthed, and many individuals are beneficiaries of donations.
We've heard many stories throughout the years, especially during her passing, of people telling us, boy, if it wasn't for my mom, my child wouldn't have been able to go off to school, or I wouldn't have had this home, you know, and the stories went on. And so we wanted to continue that legacy of philanthropy and that giving spirit.
Every year we sponsor a family. And last year we would have gone to Grand Bahama to sponsor a family. And that's why the awareness of this is so important.
Now, an event is set for Saturday, September 24th at the Independence Park, and will showcase the talents of persons like Sherwin Gardner and Simeon Oughton. Officials sharing how persons can donate and just what can be expected.
Classy men and women's formal wear, where you can register with our aunt and also pay the donation fee of $100. We also will be allowing people to come in for just $1, so it's just $1 for children and adults. We also have a kids corner that's going to be there.
We work closely with Dr. Cinquy Brown, who is the only doctor in the Bahamas that sees children with cancer. So she will be identifying a child or family who is in need.
At September's end, part proceeds will also go toward a scholarship for a music major at the University of the Bahamas, along with an inspirational facelift of the Children's Corner at the Oncology Center. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Thanks, Raven. Your Wednesday evening sports check is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of sports right here in the North. We do have a lot of updates for you in sports. Let's begin this one with tennis.
The Grand Bahama Tennis Association crowning champions of the Flawless Construction Tennis Tournament on the weekend. William McCartney would go on to win the Under-14 and Under-16 Boys Championships. McCartney went on to defeat Jack Bowles in the Under-14 Championships before taking down Cohen Knowles to win the Boys Under-16 crown. On the girls' side of the tournament, Tatiana Madu would claim the Under-14 girls title, while Jaleesa Clark would secure the girls Under-16 title. Athletes from New Providence, Abaco, and Eleuthera competed in this year's tournament. Switching gears now in sports, Reach Out Ministry partnered with Powerhouse Gym to provide assistance to the youth of that district.
Backpacks, giveaway, school supplies, giveaway, and for a little treat, we had hot dogs with some refreshments, live music, and it was just some fun festivities that we got the kids together in one spot here in 8 Mile Rock. Let them know that we are here. And we felt as if all of these persons can come together and the kids can see that, hey, these things came from somewhere, somebody cares about us to equip us with the tool that's going to help us into tomorrow.
I can't describe the feeling today to see kids were here from about 9, ready, anxious. We gave about over 500 backpacks. What I did today is a little more treat. We did hot dogs. We brought a little bit of groceries for the folks in 8 Mile Rock.
They were so excited to receive this gift, and I know it's a big help for the parents that are out here as well. So hats off to Dudley Said and Outreach Ministry for their tremendous work throughout the community. And we at Bahamas First General Insurance Company are so happy to be a part of this event.
And finally in sports and football, 2 games played on Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills had an impressive win against the Tennessee Titans, 41-7, to improve to 2-0 on the season. Up next, the Bills will head to Miami to take on the Dolphins this Sunday in a showdown between 2 undefeated teams in the AFC East division. Also, the Philadelphia Eagles got the win against the Vikings 24-7 to also improve to 2-0 on the season. The Eagles will now head on the road to take on Washington.
And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Thanks, Jay. Well, over the next 4 weeks, our Aja Kwan speaks with Doctors Hospital on some of the exciting features that they offer. Tonight, we begin with the Director of Finance and Operations, Kendra Stirrup, on the premiere of hospital plans on Grand Bahama Island.
Doctors Hospital has been providing Bahamians with quality health care for over a half a century. And according to the Director of Finance and Operations, Kendra Stirrup, they are the most modern acute care private-owned healthcare facility in the Caribbean. Stirrup also says they have the highest level of international accreditation for quality and standard. Now they have transitioned here on the island to further provide quality health care in the Bahamas.
As we thought about our blueprint and our footprint in the Commonwealth, we noted that Grand Bahama, as well as Nassau actually, are underpopulated for the amount of inpatient bed requirement.
Stirrup says they want to ensure there is no gap in health care through their Eagle project, including the islands Eleuthera, Abaco, Grand Bahama, Long Island, and Exuma.
To urgent needs, we want to be able to make sure that each of these Eagle Islands that we have represented in that core group has the dynamics of what Doctors Hospital brings and has the infrastructure and clinic facilities.
And for Grand Bahama, Stirrup mentions that they are in the process of building a clinic along with the hospital in the Freeport proper, which will include many features.
You send us your prescription, we fill those, whether we have it on island or not. We can fly it in from New Providence, you pick it up, and you can pay later up to 14 days with no gap in you getting your care. And then also we will have a lab collection site in Freeport.
And in addition to the features they intend to bring, the Cavala Medical Center in 8 Mile Rock currently has a pediatrics and family medicine department and a kidney center, which you will hear about in the upcoming series every Wednesday for the next 3 weeks. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Quant.
Don't miss the fabulous end of summer sale at Park & Shop downtown. 25% off this September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, excluding underwear and all red tag items. Saturday, September 24th, 8 p.m., it's all about Rake and Scrape Reloaded Part 7 at No Holds Bar and Lounge, Settlers Way. Admission is free. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Daphne Boodle, you are our Facebook friend of the day, and we want to say thank you so much for your support. We also want to wish a special happy birthday going out to Anita Ambrista. Hope you enjoyed your day. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, Meguana spared. A struggle leads to death. Increased human smuggling prompts immigration training. And Bahamians help lift Great Britain to First World Baseball Classic. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Another layer of local COVID protocols falls away. Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for joining us. It's just the kind of news Bahamians have been waiting to hear for 2+ years. Months after the United States lifted its restriction and some in the region followed suit, the Prime Minister has agreed to the recommendation that the local mask mandate be removed with effect October 1st. However, for the time being, masks will continue to be required in schools, healthcare facilities, and in senior care homes. Now, there is the reality that some Bahamians will continue wearing masks in crowded settings. That, of course, is a matter of choice. However, people with COVID symptoms should seek testing. In other news this evening, the acting Prime Minister today leading a delegation on a tour of those islands that were in Hurricane Fiona's direct path. Our Lloyd Allen and cameraman Ashley Taylor are stationed on the island of Mayaguana. The latest is in this report. Good evening, Lloyd.
Good evening, Makushla, and good evening, Bahamas. At this moment, we are at Bacon Beach Resort. This is located in Pirates Wells, one of the 3 major settlements here on Mayaguana. Earlier today, a contingent of government officials flew into the island to reassure residents that they are very concerned and aware of their major challenges. Now, while here, they toured those 3 major settlements, as well as government buildings and the community dock located in Betsy Bay. Following that, they drove down to Abrams Bay, where they addressed residents, letting them know that while they are thankful that no major impact occurred as a result of the passing of Hurricane Fiona, their focus is restoring economic activity to this island. Reporting from Mayaguana for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Now, Hurricane Fiona may have done very little damage to the southern Bahamas, but Red Cross volunteers on the ground in Mayaguana say those residents are in desperate need of supplies. Lead volunteer Persis Charlton expressing serious concern that the Red Cross satellite phone is inactive. She went on to list other items badly needed.
We are in dire need of blankets, we are in dire needs of cots, and we are in dire needs of any supplies that the Red Cross Department in Nassau can supply for the island of Mayaguana, and even if they can lobby for a big generator to keep our medical supplies cool enough so that they can be used. In addition, if the Red Cross can supply us with 4 kits, 1 for the command center and 3 for the shelters, would be great. We didn't have the Red Cross at this time do not have any first aid kits on the island of Mayaguana.
Meantime, the Salvation Army is standing ready to assist as needed in the aftermath of Hurricane Fiona. Divisional Commander for the agency, Major Rudolph Mio, says they've already contacted officials on the Turks and Caicos Islands, where there were said to be power outages and widespread flooding.
We start getting there now, and then the people our premises are open, and things are continue to go, and any help that we can get will be very much welcome to assist with recovery and wherever that would be, in particularly Bahamas and Turks and Caicos.
Hi, this is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dane with a tropical weather update brought to you by BTC and CBS Bahamas. At 5 o'clock this afternoon, Fiona was some 615 miles to the southwest of Bermuda. It is moving towards the north at 9 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds holding at 130 miles per hour. Now, by Friday, Saturday, we expect Fiona to be well offshore the east coast of the United States, heading towards Nova Scotia in Canada. And then secondly, we're looking at tropical storm Gaston remains in the far northern Atlantic, no threat to landmass. It's moving towards the northeast at 14 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. And the third area of concern we are watching, this one is very near the Windward Islands. It has a 90% chance of developing over the next couple of days as it treks towards the west. This could be your next tropical depression or tropical cyclone. The good news is most of the computer models keeping it well to the south of the Bahamas. However, it could be a problem for some of the Gulf Coast states of the United States over the next several days as it takes a turn into the Gulf of Mexico. This has been your Tropical Weather Update brought to you by BTC and CBS Bahamas.
A one-day workshop focused on mapping the way forward for the management of local coastlines held today at the Balmoral Club. Carla Palmer has the details.
The Technical Advisory Committee for Integrated Coastal Zone Management, ICZM, facilitated the one-day workshop, which brought together climatologists, meteorologists, environmentalists, and others. All stakeholders together are tasked with finding solutions to mitigating against the negative impacts of climate change against further coastal erosion. The workshop is being conducted under the Climate Resilient Coastal Management and Infrastructure Program. Minister of Public Works and Utilities, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, officially opened the workshop. With global sea level rise a major threat to the Bahamas, Minister Sayers says our protection from the impact of climate change depends heavily on the protection of our coastlines.
It goes without saying that the entire Bahamas is a coastal country. In fact, our coastal zone encompasses our inland resources, beaches, mangrove forests, coral reefs, and extends across our deepest waters to the outer boundaries of our exclusive economic zone, according to the definition proposed by Hosley and Bitten in 2002. Therefore, we need to adapt now.
With experts predicting global sea levels to steadily and significantly increase over time, Minister Sayers says this heightens the need for an integrated coastal zone management program here.
Our coastal resources also provides us with a myriad of benefits such as food, medicine, storm protection, tourism, transportation, and cultural and spiritual inspiration. However, this precious and invaluable resource is under threat by pollution, coastal erosion, illegal and under-regulated activities.
The program being spearheaded by the Project Implementation Unit in the Ministry of Works and Utilities is divided into 4 components and has contracted several consultants to undertake studies. They include the Bahamas National Trust, Mott MacDonald Limited, and Smith Warner International. According to Minister Sayers, stakeholder engagements will also take place in East Grand Bahama and Central Long Island. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
Well, if left untackled, climate change and its consequences could very well lead to a global GDP loss of about 18% within the next 10 to 15 years. Figures aside, though, missing the goalpost could also translate into climate refugees, a case Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis reiterated during a UN General Meeting panel discussion on Tuesday.
Look what has happened in Central America. Over the drought that has hit it over the last several years. The borders of the United States speaks to that. And that too will have impact on the political dynamics here in the United States. So if you don't do anything, your own self-interest ought to be heightened by the fact that these are realities that's going to face you. And you're facing it as we speak. So when these 3.5 billion people have no place to go, because they have lost, the Bahamas is 100,000 square miles of ocean. It's an ocean state. 80% of my land mass is a mere 3 meters above seawater, sea level. All right, if nothing happens, if we're lucky, we will be climate refugees.
Unlucky means the Bahamas will be at the mercy of hurricanes, losing more lives, more trauma in the aftermath. He also argued that the criteria for accessing funding should be addressed.
They say I'm a wealthy country, but having had with 5 hurricanes in the last 4 or 5 years. That's ratcheted up my debt to beyond the sustainable level. Why would you want to lend me more money to make it more unsustainable for me? But I'm unable to move as quickly as I would like because I have to be continually funding loss, damage,
and servicing debt.
Well, shark attacks are not a new phenomenon, but neither are reports of attacks frequent in the Bahamas, according to Acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Chester Cooper. But he acknowledges it's an issue to be consistently concerned about, and this particularly following the fatal bull shark attack of American tourist Caroline de Placido earlier this month. De Placido was at the time snorkeling with family members. While some have called for the implementation of safety protocols for tour operators to protect snorkelers, Cooper believes additional training may be needed for industry professionals.
We have engaged the stakeholders in the tour industries to ensure that proper protocols are in place. There are certain basic common sense things that can be done in relation to managing this process. We've been doing this for decades. I think there has to be more training, more ongoing dialogue with tour operators to ensure, for example, we're not feeding at the time that people are swimming.
He says another shark attack in Exuma a few months ago occurred in waters where sharks are fed. While there were signs declaring it a no-swim zone, he accepts signs can also be more prominent.
But the reality is that the Bahamas has fared reasonably well. Let me say, though, that our thoughts and prayer continue to be for the family that was affected. We, at the Ministry of Tourism, firstly sought to ensure that the family understood that we were there for them. And we did all we could to make a very bad situation better. And that's been our primary focus.
Still to come, a special visitor to the Bay Street Straw Market and training underway for immigration officers. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What makes us experts? Every bite. And while it's impossible to know how many there have been in KFC's history, each one of them is crucial. Because our secret travels from mouth to mouth. And we know that the first bite will never be the last. Kentucky Deluxe Chicken Sandwich, a triple breaded chicken breast, premium mayo, pickles, lettuce, tomato, and cheese on a buttery brioche bun. All our chicken expertise in a sandwich. Kentucky Deluxe Chicken Sandwich, only at KFC Nassau.
To think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Are you or a loved one under medical care?
Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
In celebration of our newest ship, the Disney Wish, we have launched a new program, Wishes Set Sail, which is our way of investing in youth-focused initiatives in each of our port communities in the region. This is really important for us at Disney Cruise Line because we want to see young people in our port communities achieve their dreams. One way that we're contributing to this is through our back-to-school giveaways, where we've supplied over 1,300 bags and school supplies for students in Abaco and Eleuthera as they head back to school this week.
It honestly fills my heart with so much joy, being able to participate and do such a great thing and give back to our community, especially the kids of the Bahamas.
We believe that by providing these kinds of supplies, bags, and school supplies, that we can help these young people achieve their dreams through education.
Just about 1 week in, and the Progressive Liberal Party is still riding high on its September 16th victory that saw the Davis-led party unseat the Minnis administration by an overwhelming margin in 2021. The latest to tout his ministry's successes alongside its to-do list is the Minister of Social Services. He spoke with our Cleopatra Murphy.
The Progressive Liberal Party has made significant progress during its first year of governance, but Minister of Social Service and Urban Development, the Honourable Obi Wilshcombe, insists the Davis administration is just getting started. He says the Ministry of Social Services, through its efforts, is making an impact.
I'm very pleased that we've been able to increase the provisions for our clients at 10% across the board, but there's much more to be done. Too many of our people are still not sleeping with a roof over their heads. Too many of our people are still in search of job opportunities. Too many of our people are still suffering from health care issues that we in social services must attend to. And too many of our disabled are still not being considered equal.
Legislatively, he says government has been able to address issues from the blue-orange economy and green economies through the carbon credits bill. With worrying issues like crime, he says the agenda will get even more aggressive.
We want to answer these issues. We want to be able to be that holistic government, the government that caters to all men and people of our country in all the right ways.
With the party touting successes in tourism's resurgence and the rebounding of the economy, Wilshcombe says Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis is about action.
We're reminded every day, too much talk, he says. Let's get it done. Because over the many years, he's watched Bahamians endure a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. And in particular, you've seen his passion, particularly for those persons who were affected by Hurricane Dorian, those persons in Abaco and East Grand Bahama. And the message to us all is we have to do more.
Wilshcombe says ultimately there are many things still to be dealt with, and Bahamians voted the PLP into office because they wanted a better life.
People are going to judge you on your actions, not by your words. You know, action speaks louder than words.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, November will mark a year since more than 300 vendors returned to the straw market, having closed due to the pandemic. And today they received a special visit from the Deputy Governor General, Her Excellency Cynthia Mother Pratt. For about 20 minutes, she made her rounds, conversing with vendors and greeting visitors, all before being presented with a straw bag with the words, "Prayer is key." Accompanying Deputy Gigi on the tour, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Bacchus Rowe.
We were contacted by her office, and she said that she wanted to come out and spend some time with the straw business professionals. You know, these vendors, Bahamian, to be honest with you. This is indigenous Bahamian work, And she, being the person that she is, feels a connection to the people, and she wanted to come out and spend some time. She actually has her beginnings in the straw market for many, many years. And so it was good to even just watch her mingle with the tourists as well as the vendors. A lot of them remember her, remember when she was a young girl, or remember her during her public life. And so it's excellent for us to come and see, what we're doing here at the market.
Chairman of the Straw Market Authority, Barrington Carter, says as it stands, straw vendors are still not paying the $35 weekly fee, but are on shifts as the market is only opened certain days per week.
We have a staggered shift at this time, whereby we have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We also have Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. That's what we have this time. There's not a full time for the vendors to come in. Also, I'd like to say that the vendors are not paying any rent at this time, so we're just moving just like that.
From the police, a two-story green building just south of Boyd Road, the scene of the country's latest homicide. Our Antoine Smith was there this morning as investigators combed the scene of clues and removed the bloodied corpse.
The body of an unidentified male carted off here on Pilgrim Avenue. It's the gruesome scene that has police in the capital trying to piece together exactly what happened.
It was shortly after 10 a.m. this morning when police were alerted that a male was found sitting at the top of a stairwell.
The deceased found slumped over a black metal railing at the top of those stairs, stab wounds piercing the upper body. Preliminary details revealing the man had been positioned there for up to 4 hours before being found. The crime scene for investigators, a very telling one.
From what the injuries that we observe, we can say that there was a struggle. At this time, I am unable to say who the struggle with, if it was one individual or two people. But as mentioned, from what is observed, there appears to have been a struggle.
Meantime, officials are sifting through the evidence, looking for potential motives or clue as to who could have done this crime. Police Press Liaison Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings sending out this appeal to the public.
I want to ask you to reach out to your Royal Bahamas Police Force. Contact the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-999-102, or you can remain anonymous and contact Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Any bit of information that you can give us, we will definitely follow those lines of inquiries to see if we're able to bring resolution to this matter in a relatively short period of time.
This latest homicide moves the murder count to about 96 for the year. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Antoine Smith.
Meantime, investigators are questioning a 14-year-old boy in relation to that Tuesday afternoon stabbing. His arrest coming after officials launched an aggressive search on Tuesday for a young man wanted in connection with the stabbing of a Doris Johnson High student on Foxhill Road. The incident, the second in recent days involving a high school student. Police Press Liaison Officer Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings says it's a trend that concerns police officials.
And what I want to encourage young people, conflicts will always arise. Conflicts will always be present. Conflicts will not go away. And so what I want to encourage young people to do especially, knowing that conflicts are going to arise. Whenever you are confronted with a conflict, I need you to stop, think about it. Stop, think, and then react. And in your reaction, consider what may be the consequences. Because every action, there's going to be a consequence for it.
Just about $30,000 worth of drugs confiscated from a property off Carmichael Road Tuesday evening. It was just before 5 p.m. that intelligence led officers to search a busy area on All Saints Way where they found an estimated 40 pounds of suspected marijuana. The question now is whose is it and where are they hiding, as no arrests have been made in connection with the discovery. Well, a stepped-up approach to fighting the all-out war on crime, leading to more saturated police patrols in known hotspots. Police Commissioner Clayton Fernanda revealing as much to reporters during Tuesday's briefing, where on display were 6 of the 8 illegal high-powered weapons used in several shootings over the weekend.
You have an area like Camp Road. 3 of those weapons that is on the table right there was recovered in Camp Road over the weekend. So that is considered a hotspot as well. We have the Nassau Village area, which spills into Pinewood Gardens. That is also considered a hotspot. And also certain areas or certain portion of Yellow Elder, Mount Burai in that area. That has slowed down significantly in that area, but we not going to let our guards down because it's quiet. We will continue to have our presence throughout.
Training underway for immigration officers who are on the front lines of the continued fight against the country's illegal immigration woes. The 2-day seminar coming on the heels of a spike in human smuggling operations here in the Bahamas and across the region. Add to that the tragic deaths of 17 Haitian migrants. The group perished at sea after their boat capsized in a failed human smuggling operation off New Providence back in July. The Immigration Department's partnered with the University of the Bahamas and the International Organization for Migration to host the training.
IOM reiterates our urgent call to the governments of the region to strengthen international coordination, to save lives, and to promote the regular pathways for migrants. It is understood that there is no one solution to these recurring tragedies. This is why we are in this room today, to learn and to seek new ways to protect our fellow humans. And it can be done through the development and implementation of comprehensive, evidence-based, and human rights-based migration policies with a whole-of-government approach.
Immigration Minister, the Honorable Keith Bell, highlighted the importance of training and the need for cooperation and collaboration between agencies.
While we are here to ensure that we protect the Bahamas for Bahamians, at the same time, those seeking a better way of life for whatever reason, that we treat them with basic human dignity and respect. We are witnessing an increase in these smuggling operations through the Bahamas. And in this particular instance, that particular operation involved nationalities from China, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Haiti, and of course Africa. And so you could see just how complex these situations are, migration, and hence the need for training.
An early dismissal tomorrow for all public school students, and this to facilitate teachers voting in union elections. The Ministry of Education advising that those wishing to vote can only do so after the noon dismissal. Further, the September staff meeting for teachers will be canceled. Well, now time for our weekly poll question. Here's how it works. Listen in for the question and then log on to our website, and that's www.znesbahamas.com, as well as any of our social media platforms to answer. That's all it takes. This week's question: do you think there should be protection against marital rape in Bahamian law? The poll's final results will be aired on Friday. Thanks for participating. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
This is the first in-person CTO event since COVID. Everyone's delighted that COVID's behind us. This was a great opportunity to begin that interaction once more, share ideas, talk about common challenges and opportunities, and really look to the future. There's been a lot of conversation about multi-destination travel and how we might be able to collaborate. So that face-to-face connection with your colleagues and the opportunity to speak with stakeholders in the region has been critical to the advancement of tourism, not just in our own country, but also for the entire region. The one common theme was that we are one Caribbean, we are one people, and whilst we compete, there's significant opportunity to collaborate, and we believe we found some common ground, specifically as it relates to multi-destination travel. I've been elected as vice chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. I am looking forward to working along with Minister Bryant from the Cayman Islands. We've built a rapport and a relationship over the last year. He's visited the Bahamas on a courtesy meeting. We shared some ideas throughout the pandemic about rules and guidelines. Bahamas played a significant role in terms of guiding the region through those protocols, and as a result of doing so, he and I have built a rapport over time. So I'm looking forward to working with him. I'm looking forward to working with all of the other executives of the CTO. I believe there's ground to be covered, and over the course of the last decade, we've been talking a lot. And I think this generation concedes that the time for talking is over. And we must find a way for some tangible deliverables of cooperation across the region if we are to maintain the relevance of the CTO.
The National Accreditation and Equivalency Council of the Bahamas, also known as NACOB, celebrated its official opening of its new headquarters on Atonic Williams-Darling Highway. Executive Director of NACOB, Dr. Lisa Roll, along with the Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, Glenys Hannah Martin, highlighted the significance of the body to the instructional delivery process.
This initiative was undertaken firstly in response to the growing concern at the rapid expansion and emergence of private post-secondary institutions and programs, often without formal approval. And secondly, to ensure that there's a quality assurance guidelines in place to hold institutions and providers of education accountable to established standards. NACOB is charged with the responsibility of ratifying the registration and accreditation status of primary, secondary, post-secondary, and any institution or provider that offers training in the Bahamas.
It is clear that NACOB is more than a technical body of accreditation of educational and training institutions, tasked with the sole function of accrediting and reaccrediting of institutions operating in the Bahamas. It has a larger national function in protecting and promoting public confidence in education and learning, and also, very importantly, in promoting a culture of quality assurance in general.
Fair Talk. I'm Denise Pratt.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Big 14s get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
When you wanna save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
It typically progresses very slowly, but it can be a killer. Yet, as we've heard time and time again, early detection to prostate cancer saves lives. In this report, our Charles Fisher speaks with a leading surgeon on what's been done.
General Surgeon Dr. Williamson Shea, who is also past president of the Cancer Society of the Bahamas, stating that the numbers are low for men and encouraging them to get tested.
We like more men to come forward in terms of screening for prostate cancer. We recommend screening starting at, say, 40 years old, whereby you can actually do a PSA blood test or digital rectal examination. We find that people present too late with their illnesses, so we like to do screening. If you detect something very early, then you can eventually get a good result at the end if you detect it very early. I think a lot of them are afraid to seek medical attention, but we need to encourage them. It's not very bad at all. Not a bad experience at all. We need to have you come, talk to the physician, do the screening blood test, and/or do the digital rectal examination for screening.
And this is an interesting stat to consider.
Screening has decreased because of COVID, but in terms of numbers, I suspect numbers are increasing. I don't have actual data, but I'm sure, like most things, it's gotten worse through the pandemic.
Next month, October, will be observed as Breast Cancer Month. It seems that more focus is on women's health than men's.
Breast cancer takes a lot of time and a lot of effort is put into October, and it's very big now. We need to try and do that for the men as well. People men essentially in the Bahamas are getting a little bit left behind. We need to get them into the screening, get them aware of their health so we can get them to get diagnosed early and successful treatments.
Dr. Shea making sure that September don't be the last for observing men's health.
In November, we'd like to sort of take that month on us for men's health as well, because we label it as a Movember, where men can grow a mustache and people can donate monies towards prostate cancer care.
Men go out and get tested. It could help for a longer life. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Charles Fisher.
Well, growing old is said to be a blessing, but aging comes with some growing pains. For some, Alzheimer's disease, a progressive neurologic disease that causes the brain to shrink and brain cells to die. Family medicine physician Dr. Indira Minus-Grimes explains the factors and risk.
It is usually a consequence that comes with aging. However, there have been cases of early onset dementia where persons acquire the disease even before the age of 60. There are many risk factors. In some cases, there may be a strong family history, so there may be a genetic component. But the other risk factors that commonly listed are cardiovascular disease, cerebral vascular disease. So what I mean is diseases of circulation like hypertension or high blood pressure and stroke. Those put us at risk, as well as risk factors like obesity, diabetes.
Well, officials of the Sandlands Rehabilitation Center have dedicated September to raising awareness about the issues of dementia and Alzheimer's disease here in the Bahamas. President of the Bahamas Alzheimer's Association is Wendy Poitier.
We are trying to encourage the implementation of the National Dementia Plan. The National Dementia Plan is something that has been encouraged and I would say almost mandated by the World Health Organization for all of those countries who signed on to say that they will implement the National Dementia Plan. And we are hoping that our government, our leaders, persons who have the authority will make sure that we have this National Dementia Plan.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Throughout all of our family islands, a Family Guardian home service agent can meet all your insurance needs. We offer life, health, and property and casualty insurance policies to help protect you, your loved ones, and your assets. With offices in Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Grand Bahama, and agents throughout the islands of the Bahamas, a Family Island agent is always nearby. Family Guardian, at your service, at your door. For any inquiries, WhatsApp us at 357-9632.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals, and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
September may be ending, but the specials continue at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Campbell's Vegetable Soup, 10.5 ounce, $1.79. Rainbow Mackerel, 15 ounce, $1.69. Olivia Vegetable Oil, 48 ounce, $3.99. Boneless chicken breast, $3.69 per pound. MacArthur Orange Juice, 1 gallon, $4.99. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
Abaco's ports to soon get some attention from the government, and this considering the millions of dollars in damage 2019's Hurricane Dorian left behind. As for what's on tap, Transport and Housing Minister, the Honorable JoBeth Colby-Davis, provided this update to participants of the recent Abaco Business Outlook.
The Marsh Harbor Port and Cooperstown Port require special attention. In particular, the Marsh Harbor Port, which is considered the main commercial shipping entry point to Abaco. Both ports were devastated by Hurricane Dorian, and since that time, very little action has been taken to effect the necessary repairs. In recognition of the important role this port plays in the economic growth of the island of Abaco, I wish to advise this forum that efforts to rebuild an efficient and secure port system are underway. I am to point out that a public-private partnership model was sought in an effort to create the performance dynamics of a modern port and to develop further quality infrastructure that will produce value for every investment dollar.
Now, taking from the event's theme, Colby-Davis says it's time to move Abaco from a state of recovery to growth.
By constructing homes, we are not just providing quality, affordable housing, but also creating employment opportunities for Abaconians. Through rebuilding the ports in Abaco, we're not just focusing on infrastructural development, but also creating a path for the full resumption of commercial activity that can lead to lower prices on goods for Abaconians.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makishla. Outside of our studios, just a few clouds, temperature at 87 degrees, relative humidity 80%, east-southeast winds at 15 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,008.9 millibars, that's 29.79 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the family violence this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. It is 87 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tool, Key, Abaco, Marsh, Abaco at 86 degrees. In the Berry Islands, 89. Alistown, Bimini, 86. 86 also in Harbour Island. Roxani, Luttra, very warm, 90 degrees, 88 in Black Point, Exuma, and Kemps Bay, South Andros. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 87 degrees. 89s in Artisan, Catalan, San Salvador, and Rumkey, Georgetown, Exuma, 88. 88 in Ragged Island, Clownstown, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Beguana, 85. Acklands, 85. Matchetown, Inagua, 87. And the Turks and Caicos Islands also reporting 87 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern Central Islands tonight, the winds are going to be north to northwest at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will take place at 11 minutes past midnight for the southeast Bahamas. Caution flags remain in place. Southwesterly winds 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet. Now tomorrow, which is Thursday, in the northwestern Central Islands, the winds continue to rotate clockwise, becoming west to northwest, maintaining that 10 to 15 knot speeds, wave heights holding at 2 to 4 feet, with some moderate swells in place. High tide 6:03 in the morning, low tide at 12:09 in the afternoon for the southeast Bahamas on Thursday. Southwesterly winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with moderate swells. And as we take you into Friday, for all areas of the Bahamas, the winds are going to fall off light and variable with very flat sea conditions. High tide 6:46 in the morning with a low tide at 12:54 in the afternoon. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Extended weather forecast is still ahead.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses, including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road, and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
Being the CFO at this young age, it really is very fulfilling to me, and it really shows that the hard work, the hours that I put in my career, they really paid off. Having such young persons in such a key role really shows that the board of directors have a lot of trust in the leadership of the young people. Being committed to excellence means that you put all of your effort into whatever it is you're doing to get the best benefit out of that task or anything you're doing in life.
Have you been denied a U.S. visa and don't understand why? Have you been turned away from the U.S. border without an explanation? Maybe you've had a prior arrest or conviction and you're not clear on how to move forward at this point. Call our office. We may be able to help. 954-449-1833.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. For 9 innings, Spain held the lead, and for 9 innings, Spain and its team of former major leaguers and affiliated veterans looks certain to advance to its first World Baseball Classic since 2013, but powered by the performance of several Bahamian baseball players and some late-game heroics, Great Britain would advance to the World Baseball Classic for the first time in history. The 2-4-2 had its imprint all over the game, ranging from Pirates' number 29 prospect Tanaj Thomas shutting out Spain in the top half of the 10th inning. Things continue to go great for Great Britain as Angels prospect Deshaun Knowles would continue to shine as he would be the top performer in the game, going 3 for 5 with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Pro player Anthony Seymour also doing his part as he would finish 2 for 3 with 2 runs and 2 stolen bases. Again, Great Britain qualifies for next year's World Baseball Classic in March after missing out in 2013, escaping with a 10-9 win. And Great Britain's roster could get even more help for the World Baseball Classic, bolstered by some talent from the 242, since they can use players from their territories. The likes of Jazz Chisholm and Lucius Fox could end up suiting up for the team once the tournament begins in March, as they competed for Great Britain back in 2017. Also speaking on the accomplishment would be Sports Minister, the Honorable Mario Bolag, who noted the achievement of the Bahamian baseball players and adds he hopes in the not-so-distant future that the Bahamian colors can be on full display.
We have yet to put a national team together that compete at the highest level, but we got the players. So therefore, the support is there. Because we're a Commonwealth nation, they have the opportunity to represent Great Britain, and they want to play at that high level. And hopefully our federation will get there at some point where our Bahamian players don't have to represent Great Britain, but represent the Bahamas. And there is no reason why we can't be performing at the world and Olympic level at baseball right now with the amount of up-and-coming players and present players we have in the major leagues.
In news from the NBA, we are weeks away from the start of the 2022-2023 season, but much like every year, chatter has commenced in regards to player preseason rankings, thanks in large to the release of ESPN's NBA Top 100 list that ranks the top 100 players in the association. Numbers 100 through 26 released yesterday, and for another season, 2 of the Bahamas' best find themselves on that list. Starting first with sharpshooter Buddy Hield coming in at number 90. Hield seeing a significant drop from last season's ranking, where he came in at number 51. He was hoping for a fresh start with the Indiana Pacers after being traded midway through last season. He shot a career-worst 36.2% from 3 in his 26 games after joining the Pacers last season, but he's still one of the league's best threats from deep. Speaking of the 51st spot, Hield's fellow compatriot, Phoenix Suns center DeAndre Ayton, comes into this season at that spot, just missing the top 50 list. Ayton finds himself ahead of fellow centers such as Jared Allen, Robert Williams III, and Clint Capella, to name a few. Still, the former number 1 pick has a lot of work to do this upcoming season to cement himself as a formidable force. Ayton was the highlight of the Suns' offseason after Phoenix decided to match his maximum extension offer from the Indiana Pacers. The Bahamian 7-footer averaged 17 points and 10 rebounds last season, but he also saw his lowest total of minutes played at 29.5. They have been instrumental over the past 15 years in helping to teach thousands of youngsters in the country how to swim. Yesterday, Nancy and Andy Knowles and their Let's Swim Bahamas program hosting a private screening for a documentary that helps capture the strides they have made thus far. The event taking place at the auditorium at the Harry C. Moore Library last evening. The roughly 30-minute doc summarizes their journey of aquatic education and the continued work that needs to be done.
Documentary is, to me, is very, very important. It's like a bit of a milestone for us because this is our 15th year, and it will highlight where we've come in those 15 years. The schools we've worked with, the amount of help we need, the sponsors that make it all happen, and our goal going forward. So it'll be a lot of documented pictures, interviews, footage to show what Let's Swim is all about.
The 4th project of its kind for Let's Swim Bahamas certainly required a lot of effort to pull off.
Because you have to get to the sites, you have to film the kids in the pool, you have to film the coaches. So we tried to cover all aspects of what Let's Swim is all about, which is teaching kids to swim, to prevent drownings, and get our population enjoying the sea and the water, and being able to swim to enjoy that. So we took 2 whole full days of footage. We interviewed the students, we interviewed the teachers, we interviewed the principals, we interviewed Algernon with the Swim Federation, we interviewed the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Education, who's played a big role in helping us through the years.
That's been a look at sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
When you combine decadence, luxury, passion, and attention to detail, You've described Café Channy, Noël, and Patisserie. Signature authentic French macarons, croissants, pastries for breakfast and lunch will take you on a European Epicurean journey. Enjoy your favorite handcrafted cocktails, coffees, cappuccinos, espressos, and lattes. Life is sweet at Café Channy, Noël.
Welcome to the Cable Bahamas Business Solutions Cybersecurity Tip of the Day for data backups. Regularly back up your business's data. Set your backups to happen automatically and store them somewhere secure. When considering data backups, consider the rule of 3-2-1. Have 3 local backups, 2 digital backups, and 1 offsite backup. Remember, stay safe, stay informed, and stay protected.
A penny saved? Forget pennies, save dollars at Super Value and Quality supermarkets. Kraft macaroni and cheese, 7-ounce, 99 cents. Mott's apple juice, 64-ounce, $4.99. Carter bath tissue, 4-pack, $2.49. Turkey wings, $1.99 per pound. Fresh celery, $1.99 each. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality supermarkets.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, Fiona continues to pull away from the Turks and Caicos Islands and the southeast Bahamas as it heads towards the north at 9 miles per hour. However, Fiona will generate some moderate to large swells over the next several days, taking us right into Friday. So motorists are asked to exercise extreme caution along our eastern and northern shorelines during high tide, as there will be some wave toppings at that time of the day. Our forecast for tonight calls for mainly clear conditions, a bit on the warm side with your low temperature just around 81 degrees. And tomorrow we're looking at a mixed bag of clouds and sunshine tomorrow, but there will be a couple of showers still lurking around, your high temperature getting up to 88 degrees. And your extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, there will be off and on showers into Friday. Thereafter, things dry out over the weekend. So a pretty nice weekend shaping up for you weather-wise. Temperatures going to keep you just slightly below that 90-degree mark, but it will still feel pretty much in the mid-90s as a result of the heat index. And that's going to do it for your weather. Stay tuned.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news.
We play just like your kids. We text just like your kids. We learn. We even cook. We take selfies. We have hobbies. And we love sports. In every way, we are just like everyone else and enjoy the same things and live our lives every day, just like you do. So if you happen to meet us, treat us just like everyone else. Because at the end of the day, we're just like you. Living life with Down syndrome is simply living. To learn more about Down syndrome, call 727-2105. This message is brought to you by the Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Everyone has a legacy to create our own footprints in the sand.